welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. I'm Spitface. I'm here with the always classy and sometimes sassy host of this show, the First Lady of Sports Talk, the one and only Cheryl Smith. How is it going in your neck of the woods?
Oh, well, I'm doing real well. I just celebrated my birthday, and I'm happy about that, and got a lot of nice messages from people, so very, very nice. But, here in South Florida, we are, a little bit saddened by the collapse of the building, but I still had a great weekend for my birthday.
Yeah, and look, we don't want y'all to go there. They will not party and so hardy for the First Lady's birthday that it shook buildings, had them collapse. We ain't gonna know. So, it was a boogieing, but it wasn't like that, And but it was I'm gonna say an interesting weekend. Happy born on day, First Lady of Sports Talk. We are so glad that you was born to this planet and on this radio network.
Thank you.
Yeah, and hey, look, we need to have a couple of born-on celebrations for the first, because I like to party. So, hey, we can give you the month. We got the 4th coming up. First Lady, keep them dancing shoes on. We might as well just keep the party going. And all right, and I don't know, party might get going. Check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from Akbar. Will he find his shining star or get the cold feel of the mute button? Hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Akbar, Akbar. So if there's a correction, somebody let me know. First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as the Atlanta Hawks were flying high after flying past an underwhelming Sixers team with a coach who has never won a Game 7. The Hawks flew into Bucks land and proceeded to swoop over the Bucks in Game 1, but in Game 2, the Hawks got swatted bad. Are we watching the Bucks turn into a champion caliber team for the ages right before our eyes? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Yeah, man, the baby Hawks treated the Bucks the same way they did the Sixers in Game 1. The Hawks stole the game in the last 30 seconds of the game. The Bucks had a 7-point lead with 4 minutes left in the game, but the Hawks just like they did with the Sixers, they just kept chipping away at the lead. Then they went ahead for good with 29 seconds left in the game. And Trae Young, he couldn't be stopped. He scored 48 points. He was so wide open on one of the plays. He did his shoulder shimmy at the 3-point line and made a shot, and it was embarrassing for the Bucks. However, in Game 2, the Bucks clipped Trae and the Hawks' wings. They had a 32-point lead by the end of the second quarter, Spitface, and the Bucks had 41-point lead several times in the second half. It was pretty much garbage time before the fourth quarter, really. And the difference was in Game 2, Giannis, he just dominated in the paint. He was really very strong, and he really played well. Giannis just, he took over. And he really didn't take that many three-point shots. He took 3 of them and missed all 3 of them. But if you remember, in previous games and previous series, they gave him that 3-point shot, and they dared him to take it. And he had been taking it, and he was taking it too much. But this time, he really concentrated on getting the ball in the paint. And, I mean, he destroyed the Hawks down low. And Brooks Lopez, he was also dominating, too. I mean, you remember in Game 1, he didn't score that well, and he didn't play that well defense either. But this time, he was definitely defending Trae Young's floater, and that was the big difference. They really play better, defensively to really stop the Bucks. And so the way things are going now, I mean, this team. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I really thought that they were going to pretty much beat the Hawks in 5 games, and I just really believe if the Bucks continue to play that same way they did in Game 2, I don't see how the Hawks will win another game. I really don't see how they would win another game because their best defender, DeAndre Hunter, he still remains out with knee problems. And Bogdanovich, I mean, he's been hobbled. You know, he's been their marksman, their 3-point shooter, and he's really been hobbled. And it's, I to be honest with you, I just continue to see downhill for the Hawks because the Bucks realized that they needed to play with more energy and play with more, they was more determined. And they know that this probably is their best chance to win a championship. This is their best chance. And they need to take care of these next 2 games, and they just need to clip those wings again for the Hawks. And I think they're going to close it out in 5 games. I said, I think initially, I don't remember, but I thought the Hawks would win 1 game. But after that first game, everybody's like, oh, well, what's going on? These baby Hawks are doing it again. But such a big difference in Game 1 and Game 2. And I really think the Bucks really know how to beat this team, and they can show that they are more dominant than this team. So it's a turn of the tides, Spitface, and the Bucks are going to be victorious, and I really think they'll win this series rather easily. What you saying?
Oh man, now I will say this: I like the Hawks. I like an overachieving team, and but I have to say they have met their match. So now Atlanta fans, you just cannot get upset. You really, you can, now you might be a little heartbroken, but you really shouldn't even be heartbroken. They overachieved. And I think they blew the image of this Nets team that was going to be dominant for so many years, and the big 3, and I think they blew that up. And we are actually seeing the emergence of the new dominant teams in the East, and the resurgence of the Knicks. That's right, the resurgence of the Knicks, the Hawks coming back, the Bucks being strong again. So, and not that the Nets won't be in the mix, but, have y'all realized how long Kyrie Irving, the Slim Reaper, and the disappearing one have been playing? They ain't spry chickens anymore. And it's not like they're, the old men of the, but they are the old men of the NBA. If you think about it, because it's the Miles. They've been playing a long time, a lot of seasons. While you got these younger teams who are, starting to hit their stride. And, I'll just say like CP3 said, you know what, I need to hook up with a young team that got emerging players where I can be that veteran. and you know, I can use my skills to get them over the hump. But I don't have to be the superstar. You know, because these are the guys they just need, you know, that veteran influence who can play at a high level. You know, who's legit in their own. But hey, look, it ain't about like CP3. It ain't about CP3. It's about about their team. He said, look, let me hook up with a team. I ain't got, you know, I'm a star, but it ain't about that. It's can we win it all? And so I go, thank you, Hawks, for blowing up the mystique and imagery of the big three, the Nets. They ain't going nowhere. And hey, the Bucks. Well, I should say, actually, the Hawks, the imagery of the Sixers. The Bucks blew the imagery of the Nets. And whether we go, you know, I keep hearing this thing where the commentators say, it's not a matter of the best team winning, it's the one who's the healthiest at the end, you know, this year. Has there been like some, you know, like have there been more injuries this year during the playoffs than any other season? You know, is this like an abnormal season with injuries to superstars going into the playoffs? You know, I don't get that there's some, you know, so to say that it's not the best team, it's the ones who are the most healthy. When the last time I looked, the Bucks had a pretty good record. You know, so did the Suns. And so it looked to me like the top teams, they was battling. So, you know, I kind of, you know, wonder about that statement. But I do think that we are seeing the Bucks turn into a team that, see, now they can just add pieces. They can add pieces. It's going to be a fist fight in the East, but that's a good thing. Because I said you got the resurgent Knicks who are back in the game. Hawks. You know, even the Sixers, you know, they're a little questionable, but they're still up there. And the Bucks. And, you know, and something might happen with the Heat. So, but it's not going to be, three aging superstars who ain't that old, but they got less years ahead of them, you know. I almost sit up there and go, to me, they demonstrated how great LeBron is. You know, LeBron did his big three thing, won a little bit in Miami, but he went back to his hometown and, you know, hey, look, Kyrie, and they won one. Then he went to L.A. and snuck and got one in. So, you know, without the big, quote, threes and stuff, so he learned something so he could bring a championship. The Slim Reaper, Kyrie, and the disappearing one, I hope your fishing trips have been going well. That's all I'm saying, First Lady. That's all.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's another subject regarding injuries, because I think people are overblowing it about the injuries and because of the lateness, the late timing of the season. Because the majority of the people that got injured, for the most part, they finished the season long before the last two teams were in the final. So that's, to me, a little bit. I disagree with that. But the Bucks, like you said, I think there is a little bit more parity in the league now because of the fact that so many teams have come up. And, you know, but the Bucks, like I said, I had said this previously on another show we had, they overhaul their entire team. And that's the reason why they knew that they had to do something different to make it to the finals, and this team is their best chance to make it to the finals. So we'll see. They still got to get past those pesky Hawks. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear. making them tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to homophobia in the NFL by Carl Nassib, an active NFL player, letting it be known he is gay. Other players have come out after they were no longer playing. He is the first active player to do so. Does that make a difference? If over 10% of the population identifies themselves as gay, can the same be said of NFL players? The NFL has created rules of conduct regarding hate speech. Does this create an atmosphere where free speech is not allowed? What is the possibility of a majority gay NFL team? Leroy Satchel Page, Walter Buck Leonard, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking what you saying. Well, I had to shout out to Carl Nassib for, letting it be known. And not doing the, and this is not a knock on those who before him waited until after they were no longer playing to let it be known. But it is, to me, really, it's courageous, and it also, I think, points to that a lot of the homophobic rhetoric, misinformation, undue prejudice, while that exists in our society, that is being chipped away. It's being chipped away. And if my child was gay or lesbian, I don't want them discriminated against and not be able to live to their fullest potential because of their sexuality. I don't want my child to, have to suffer indignities because of their sexuality. I want my child to have as many opportunities as they can have and create for themselves. And, I remember Dr. King, he had discussions because there were gay members of the movement. There were, actually, and some of them very, very critical, to its success, to its momentum. And there was an embrace, and often that's overlooked, but Dr. King was way ahead of his time. He embraced our gay and lesbian brothers and sisters for the, for their divinity, for their purpose in the grand scheme of things. Now, one thing with the NFL, the commissioner, and we know the commissioner's a bad man, his brother is gay. So he has some rather strong views, given that a personal family member, and we've seen, in some ways, I'm like, it may have been more challenging and a bigger challenge for player attitudes toward women and their relationships with women to be matured than it is actually for players to accept and deal with that another player may or may not be gay. Now I don't know, but I actually think that it may in some ways be easier for them to deal with that than getting their minds wrapped around that the treatment of women. But Now, as far as the rules with hate speech, does that create an atmosphere where free speech is not allowed? And, I put it like this. As an employee, and that's what I am, as an employee, there are certain things that are required of employment. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have my own personal views and opinions, but I have to look at my employer and what I've agreed, because they don't necessarily have to take on my personal views and opinions. I don't have to take on theirs either, but that's my employer. And if I'm uncomfortable with their views and opinions as my employer, well, I got the option of finding new employment that are more in line. But while I'm with them, I got to play by the rules. Now, the possibility of a majority gay NFL team, I can't wait till there's a majority gay NFL. I can't wait to see it. I will be rooting for them. I think it'll be so, because I'd love to see them spike the ball and then do a couple of finger snaps, All right, first lady.
Okay.
Get out, bro. Get out. Other thing is, I put it like this. When somebody, when you lined up and somebody knocked you on your behind, you ain't going, it was the gay guy. No, you going down. Man, wait just a minute. Okay, now, you ain't going to hit me like that next time. You like, that's your problem. You worried about that. This dude that ran me over, First lady, what you say?
Well, salute to Carl Nassib, for living his truth. He definitely received overwhelming praises for his announcement. Matter of fact, his jersey is the top-selling jersey in the NFL after his announcement. And his announcement, really, Spitface, was very nonchalant announcement on Instagram. And he didn't hold a major press conference, which really gives you indication that many people in the LGBTQ plus community now feel that they don't have to bring so much attention to their sexual orientation, really. That to me was the great thing about it, and I believe many people eventually expected someone to come out, but no one knew when it was going to happen and who it was going to be. I mean, if you remember in 2014, the St. Louis Rams, now they're the L.A. Rams, they drafted Michael Sam in the 7th round. He became the first openly gay man drafted, but he was later cut by the St. Louis Rams before the regular season. So that's the reason why Carl Nassib has been, the first active player to announce that he is gay. And, after he made his announcement, how many other players will come forward acknowledging, if they are gay or not? There's going to be a few. I believe a few will come out, but Spitface, I still think it's still going to be a significant amount of players that still are going to stay private about this. Let's face it. Nassib was the first actively player to do this, but he's not a household name either. So in my opinion, when a well-known player comes out, I think it really will resonate more than Carl Nassib's declaration. I just feel about that because, I didn't know who he was, and I'm quite sure you didn't know who he was either, Spitface. I
bet you Dizzy Mac did.
Huh?
I bet you Dizzy Mac did.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
Given he's a Raider, given he's a Raider.
Oh, yeah, with Dizzy Mac, yeah. Well, I don't even know if Dizzy Mac knew who he was either. But the thing is, he's not a well-known player. He is active. He's playing. He is a starter, or I think he was backup, but I think he became a starter or something like that. But if a well-known player comes out being gay, to me, that's when the floodgates will open up with players expressing their truth. And I still don't think, I don't see that there's 10% of the league is gay. I mean, even though, you know, the statistics are that for the population in general, that 10% of the population is gay, I don't believe 10% of the NFL is gay. I still really believe that it's a small number of gay people in the NFL. So, you know, I think it's much smaller than 10%. And, you know, I mean, it's okay having a majority gay football team, but I don't think it's ever going to happen in my lifetime. I don't think I don't think that we're talking about there's 50-something men on the NFL team. So you're going to tell me 30 of them are going to be gay? I don't think so. I don't think so, Spitface. I mean, but in general, I just think
who would have thought that the majority of NFL teams would have black players? There was a time.
Oh well, yeah, there was a time, but that was something that was definitely going to change. But anyway, I still think it's a great thing, and you know, people need to become comfortable, like you said, Spitface, and being able to live peacefully, to be able to be open, and where they don't have to hide how they are. And nobody, I mean, I have a son. I mean, I wouldn't want, he's not gay, but I wouldn't want him to feel that, that you even have to express your sexual orientation. I mean, we should come to a point where it really doesn't matter, to be honest with you. But
hey, that's the real deal, personally.
Yeah, but people should be able to live their truth. And, you know, the LGBTQ plus community is a very strong community, and they support, you know, their people. And, you know, I actually wasn't aware that that the Kamish brother was gay. I was not aware of that. Mm-hmm. So obviously he does have a very he has an understanding, because it hits home with him. And you know, I don't know if you remember, Spitface, when we had our outrageous position. I think it was I think it was last year sometime. I said that an NBA player was going to come out. I remember an active NBA player, and I still think that is going to happen, even though
you know they copycats.
Yeah, even though what's his name had already came out. Oh gosh, I forgot his name.
Oh yeah,
the twins. Collins. I forgot which Collins. I think Jason Collins.
Yeah, that's his name.
He came out, and there had been previous gay players in the NBA. So, but again, you know, Jason Collins wasn't a big star. Now, maybe we just don't have any big stars that are gay, but as far as in the NFL or in the NBA, but I really seriously doubt that. So it'll be interesting to me if somebody that has a lot of cachet, if they come out and say that they're gay. I believe that will be the turning point for this to become, you know, basically to be just a ordinary thing, not a big deal. So, that's all I'm saying, Spitface, on this.
Yeah. Now, there was a book written, by a certain journalist many years ago about a certain quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, remember that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Matter of fact, he's on TV. Used to be with ESPN, is now with the
Fox something, right?
Fox, Fox Sports 1 or something.
Yeah.
I know
but
what
that
you're
was
talking
it.
about.
That's what catapulted him to the big time.
Yes.
Now, I put it like this: when a Super Bowl winning quarterback comes out, like you said, that's when it's like, hey, this is just how it is. That's the thing, when a Super Bowl winning quarterback that's actively playing comes out, it's, hey, it's in the past. But First Lady, please take us to break.
Well, that quarterback hasn't played in a long, long time, and he still has not acknowledged that. So
hey,
we don't know.
He ain't saying,
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have a performance from Akbar on Shout Out Part 1.
Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe. To get a shout-out from the panel, First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Akbar.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout-out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today, we are featuring music from Akbar. His hometown is St. Louis, and he says, my love of music came from listening to Motown artists, and my style of music is similar to the R&B styles of the 70s and 80s. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Let's hear Love is a Beautiful Thing. Hit it, DJ. right, Spitface. That was Akbar. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Spitface. I'm so disappointed. Very disappointed. I was looking for somebody to sing. I didn't know it was going to be an instrumental. Unless I heard that moaning in the background was singing. I
don't know what that moaning. I heard all the moaning.
I heard a muffled voice in the background, but I thought that was an instrument making that noise. But I mean, it was the same monotonous beat the whole time through the song. It didn't even have any changes, really. So, I mean, I'm going to hit the mute, Spitface. I was looking for, he said he was like this, he said the 70s and 80s R&B. I don't know, what part of that song was the 70s and 80s R&B?
I didn't hear no R and I didn't hear no B.
You're right about that. So
I didn't hear neither one.
I hit neither, nothing. I'm definitely hitting the mute. I'm sorry. All right, Spitface, what do you think?
I got to hit the mute on it. You know, I'm going, it was not entertaining. I dare say it was music. And I don't know if he was trying to sing, rap, or just be, it was just not, bad. So I'm hitting the mute button. That I'm just gonna go with that before I, our Sunday has been going good. I'll just say mute.
Okay. I mean, love is a beautiful thing, but not through that song. But anyway, on part two.
Down to me, if that's how love is for him, good night.
What
Dude,
love got to do with it?
You need to get some love in your life.
That's like, what love got to do with it? But anyway, on part two of Shout Out, we'll have another performance from Akbar. Is that the sound of my favorite underwater friend? Let me tell you something. Flippin', he went so far underwater, it might take a while for him to come back up. It's time for Flippin'.
You know, when the Flipper song got more energy, I'm letting the Flippers all happy and stuff, get your smile on your face. I'm like, brother, but let me carry on. Okay, time for flipping where our hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. Major League Baseball has instituted a hard line when it comes to pitchers using illegal substances or too much sweat on the ball. Pitchers have figuratively and physically showed their behinds to demonstrate their displeasure. Is this MLB figuring out ways to keep the sport in the news, like marketing? Okay, panel, defend. Major League Baseball needs all the coverage they can get, even if it's pitchers pulling down their pants. First Lady, I was, baseball, without getting sanctimonious, if you don't get sanctimonious and righteous when you talk about the sport of baseball and cheating have gone hand in hand since the inception of the game. And that's just how it is. Now, the thing is, it's the degree of cheating. Okay? It's the degree of cheating. And there's cheating where it just outright flat. You can't do that. Okay? And then there's think of Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. If there's a way we can run right up to that rule, we're going to do it. And if we happen to cross over, we'll wait and see if we get our hands slapped. you know. And 6 Super Bowls later, you know, they kind of won that way. Call them cheaters if you do, they got the rings. Now, in baseball, there are all sorts of little things, you know, pine top, just a little bit, you know, little things, you know. And you go in the big scheme of things, it probably has little impact on the real game. But if everybody do it, the perception in the game, you know, the integrity of the game becomes, you know, suspect. But I think that this is really, you know, because you can't put too much sweat on the ball. You know, the pitchers do little things, but do it really get them like some real super competitive advantage? I don't know, because some of them boys will knock that ball out the park on you, you know. But I think this is more about entertainment, something to have some kind of controversy where the sports media will bring it to the attention of the public and keep some attention on Major League Baseball, especially with the NBA championships right around the corner. I mean, the series, you know, hey, they're planning to get there. NFL news getting ready to break any moment. You know, look at Aaron Rodgers and Sean Watson. All sorts of stuff is in the air. So, you know, they're fighting for whatever time that they can get. So they need all the coverage they can get, and this probably has more to do with marketing than really the integrity of the game. First Lady, defend.
Well, each year Major League Baseball is losing viewership because young people are not watching the sport. I mean, it's been well documented. But with this recent attention to pitchers cheating and pulling down their pants during the games, and it really has made a spectacle of Major League Baseball. And you know what? That sells. People like to watch that. That's something that people always like to watch. And the coverage is, you know, receiving a lot of attention, like you said, is being talked about in the media, and so people are watching. You know, baseball actually had experienced a increase in ratings even before the rule change, because at the beginning of the season, a lot of people started watching baseball, and the main thing, they was watching it through streaming platforms. The Major League Baseball released a statement saying that Major League Baseball TV service saw more than 1.3 billion minutes of streams through its first 3 weekends of the 2021 season. So that's an increase, 12% increase compared to the shortened season, and they are up 43% compared to during the same time than season 2019. So in general, believe it or not, baseball is showing a rise in viewership. So to me, all of this situation regarding the pitchers, cheating and bring things being brought, the league basically stopping this is going to make it more exciting to watch. Because if you remember the steroid era, when you had the home run competition between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, that really had people watching baseball. People who didn't even want to watch baseball, casual fans watching baseball. Because I know my mother, rest in peace, she even watched baseball, and she ain't a baseball fan during that time. So it's always when there's a controversy that people like controversy. They like that, and this pitching change and the rules of the change is really causing so much controversy, and so people are finally watching baseball. And one thing also, just to comment on that, the Major League Baseball finally have identified young stars. I don't know if I'm pronouncing their names, like Fernando Tatis and Ronald Acuna and Shohei what's his name? The Japanese pitcher, Shohei Ohtani. You know, they're definitely generating excitement among young fans also. So baseball is finally trying to do what the NBA does, market their young players. So, but you know, it's a spectacle now because I mean, who's going to, you know, you're going to watch it to see. I mean, these baseball pitchers, I mean, they really stripping down. People like to see that, Spitface. So, you know, so baseball is coming back. That's all I'm going to say. Baseball is coming back.
Baseball needed a little in your face. You know, a little in your face, like you say, for that. But and remember, baseball is a sport where they have learned, you know, they have had all sorts of stuff happen in baseball. I mean, to cause people to watch the game. You know, what's his name? Comiskey? Wasn't he the guy who hired a midget? You know, if you check out baseball lore, they had a midget player. They did. They put him out there. You know, so you know they have all. You know, there's I should say when baseball has a little carnival atmosphere, their viewership goes up. Okay, but we're gonna flip it and defend after the steroid era and the Astros cheating. The league has to show some discipline somewhere. These pitchers stretched the boundaries, and now it's over. And, you know, I can think of Billy Martin running out there on the field with the bat and the pine tar. You know, and the pine tar. To the casual fan, what does it matter if it's this up or that up or it's the whole bat? But to a baseball insider, that they, you know, they realize how critical all components are to winning that game. As they say, it's like a game of chess, and you know, signal stealing. They've been stealing signals since the beginning of the game, but you know, and there are rules against it. Now, if it's just, well, look, do what you want to do, the integrity of the game goes away. And the steroid era. Should baseball have jumped on it earlier? Yes. And they took advantage of it because it was selling tickets, keeping baseball up in there. But there's a point where that dance with the devil impacts the integrity of the game. The Astros cheating? Yes. And as I said, think about the Patriots. I think about the Patriots. But pitchers are slick, and they know it. Let me work up, you know, now I don't know if it's more psychological than it really impacts the ball. I can't say. I'm not a student of the game that deep. But, man, sometimes you look up and you go, dude, how much sweat you going to put on that ball? You know, before you are got to be violating something. It's putting some kind of move on it. And, you know, it amazes me, these guys, you know, like the umpires and stuff, they can tell when a ball is doing something that's not normal. And I'm like, you know, I guess that's why they professionals. I'm like, you know, that boy just looked like it just went past me like a bullet. What was abnormal other than, you know, well, actually normal, I ain't going to be able to hit that sucker at 80 miles an hour. Probably ain't going to hit it at 20 miles an hour. Yeah, okay, 10. But they had to set some boundaries. And if anything, by them doing it, they get the double effect. They get the effect of saying, hey, look, we're clamping down, we're doing this, and causing a little controversy, get a little coverage. First Lady, defend.
Well, baseball is always in the news for the wrong reasons. It's not because their players are playing well, like Jacob deGrom, who had an ERA at .50, but now it's at .69, which is remarkable. But we're not talking about deGrom as much as we are talking about the pitchers cheating. You know, I mean, Spitface, you knew something was wrong with the pitchers because there were so many no-hitters this year. Do you know there were 7 no-hitters so far, and we're still in June? 7 no-hitters. Statistics tells us that a no-hitter is a rare event for a pitcher. A rare event. Since 1876 is when they've been keeping this statistics. There's only been 312 no-hitters. And until 2011, Major League Baseball was averaging 2 no-hitters a season. Now we got 7 no-hitters. So there was definitely something going on. So that's why the Major League executives, they knew they had to implement a quick resolution to this issue because of the integrity of the game was being manipulated by these pitchers cheating. Now, normally rule changes are done in the off season, but Commissioner Rob Manfred, he couldn't wait, and that's why this rule had to be implemented immediately. I mean, these pitchers will adjust. Hey, they will adjust. And they will stop making a mockery of the rule by pulling down their pants, you know. But nobody cares if they pull down their pants as long as they're not cheating, Spitface. They can pull it down all the way for all we care, but as long as they're not cheating, because then we can, you know, that instills the integrity of this game. That's all I'm saying.
And on that note, First Lady, please take us to break.
Yeah, the integrity of the game. Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
Get them pants up. Hit it.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Spitface, over to you.
Now, you know, First Lady, I know you and I, we love to giggle at our dumb criminals. Because one, it's dumb being a criminal. Crime is not a good thing for you. Mm-hmm. But for some, it's a little even more so. Cigarette smoking thief sets fire to self and cars while stealing fuel. Man, and they got him on video. A man who was allegedly trying to steal fuel from parked cars while smoking a cigarette set himself and a number of vehicles on fire. The man is believed to have been attempting to siphon petrol from a vehicle in a private car park in Millicent, Southern Australia, when he lit a cigarette. Predictably, naked flame plus fuel equal bad news. CTV footage published on ABN Now shows how that little episode turned out. Police were called to the garage and found a man with burns to his legs and arms. Car park owner Angus McDonald told Channel 10 Eyewitness News, "We were just so lucky. He was trying to get the fuel out of the car by punching a hole in the tank. That's when the that is just stupid. That's when the explosion happened. There's about $110,000 worth of cars that have been lost, and there's a bit of damage to the walls. We were very lucky the workshop didn't catch fire because there's cars that's over the other side of the wall." A 26-year-old man has been arrested and charged with arson and illegal interference with a motor vehicle. You know, they must be nice over in Australia because they didn't publish the guy's name. But I'm sure the video is all on the internet. Gosh darn, and water is splashing everywhere. It must be time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time for Flip It.
Which team would be the bigger surprise to make it to their conference championship? The Chicago Bears or Miami Dolphins? Panel defend. With no Aaron Rodgers to contend against the Bears, to contend against, the Bears should be the favorite to win their division. Who knows what Miami will do? They would be the bigger surprise. Spitface defend.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and we all know the big dog in the NFC North has been the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers. Now, there's been spurts where the Bears kind of raised up, but mainly it's been the Green Bay Packers. With Aaron out, or Aaron not going to play, the Packers become an ordinary team with a new quarterback, okay? And that new quarterback is not Justin Fields. So, and the Bears have made some off-season moves to this is kind of like do or die dime for the coach and the GM. So I could see the Bears that things could break their way and they mess around and be in the champion conference. Miami, on the other hand, you looking at the Buffalo Bills playing some serious ball. The Jets, who knows what they're going to do? Okay, who knows what the Jets are going to do? But the Buffalo is going to be there. And 1 year away from no Tom Brady, the Patriots cannot be ruled out. They made some adjustments. So Miami, do we really know the quarterback is going that Tua is the man? With all the conversations about trading him, doing this, we don't know how what Miami's going to do. What they really are about, other than on paper. So they would be the biggest surprise to be in the AFC Championship. To stumble their way in. The Bears, they could stumble their way in. The NFC it has dominant teams, but teams get upset all the time in the NFC. That's all I'm saying, per se.
Okay, so you think based off of luck, the Bears are going to stumble there, and the Dolphins, we just don't know, but that's why they'll be the bigger surprise. Yeah, I agree with you. The Bears are more likely to win their division, as we all know, since Rodgers more than likely will not play for the Packers. So that division is wide open, and to me, the Bears do have a better chance of making it to the conference finals because there's this. I don't think the competition is what it used to be with Packers not being there, and then the Vikings. They're another team that I don't know. I think they're kind of sliding.
Mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre because their quarterback is he really hasn't done that well, to get them to where they needed to be. But the Dolphins is an unknown entity because we really don't know which Tua Tagovailoa will we see. I mean, the problem for the Dolphins last year, Tua didn't have a great wide receiving core to throw the ball to. He also was held back by the offensive coordinator, Chan Gailey. So the Dolphins drafted Tua's receiver from Alabama. They also signed their Will Fuller. They fired Chan Gailey and replaced him with not one, but two offensive coordinators. I never heard of such. But George Godsey and Eric Stutterville, they're going to be sharing the role as the offensive coordinator. So, the Dolphins had a great season last year. They just missed the playoff, but their defense is really a top caliber defense. They just need to have the offense to match the defense. So I really think because of the fact that they made significant changes on the offense, the Dolphins are going to be that surprise because everybody expects the Bills to be in the conference finals against the Chiefs. It's a far-gone conclusion that the Bills will win their division and they're going to be in the conference finals because the Bills have definitely improved their team from last year and it's continuing to improve. They've brought back most of their players and added some more players. So I still think the Dolphins will be a surprise because, like, we don't know about Tua Tagovailoa. That's the unknown factor in this whole situation. If he can be the Tua that he was when he was in Alabama, look out. The Dolphins will definitely be in the conference finals. But this is Flip It, so let's defend. We are talking about the Bears. They would be the bigger surprise. Spitface defend.
In many ways, if it wasn't for the Dallas Cowboys, the Bears would be the train wreck waiting to happen. But the Dallas Cowboys have secured that honor because the Bears are just flat out fall on their face. They would be the biggest surprise. One, because we don't know who is going to be their quarterback. And we know that supposedly Justin Fields will not be starting the season, which means that he's going to be interjected at a time when they're probably not doing well or they're being mediocre. Like maybe they're playing 500, so, we might as well see if we can get over the hump or something. But otherwise, it's like a problem. We done lost 2 straight. We might as well put him in. So, with that convoluted thinking, but one, they had the good news is that Aaron Rodgers will not be there, and whoever Green Bay has, that's going to end up being, they had a chance of winning some stuff. But the Bears are far from settled in the number 1 position. And like I said, we talk about the Bears, the Bears, Miami, the Dolphins have been steadily on the up. They just a little bit better, and they made some smart moves by one getting rid of Gailey, the quarterback destroyer versus the whisperer, and having a good defense and being they were able to be competitive with their weaknesses on offense. Their improvements can come quicker because they're settled at quarterback. And so, like I said, we talk about the Bears. They would definitely be the biggest surprise.
Okay, the Bears will be the bigger surprise. We always get so disappointed with the Bears every year. We expect them to win, have a better showing in the playoffs, but every year they disappoint. Now, the Dolphins, they still have a quarterback who is in his second season, and he's still learning. And everybody know the Bills are the top dog in that division, and it's a far-gone conclusion. The Bills will be at the conference finals against the Chiefs. But, the Dolphins are going to have a great year. They're going to get into the playoffs, but, it's going to be unusual for them to really surprise teams anymore because of the fact of the year that they had last year. But, they are going to be good. They have a chance to get into the conference finals. But if they do get into the conference finals, I don't think it's going to be a surprise to everybody, even though we still think it's going to be the Bills. Now, the Bears, they are really actually the unknown entity in the league because they have 3 capable quarterbacks, Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, and the rookie Justin Fields. So we're not sure who is going to be the lead quarterback. Is it going to be Andy Dalton, who couldn't do anything with the Dallas Cowboys? He left Cowboys and went to the Bears because he thought he would have a better chance because of Dak coming back. So Andy Dalton hightailed out of the Cowboys to the Bears, and maybe we'll see a better showing from the red hair. And, of course, you always have the capable Nick Foles always lurking in the background waiting to take over. That's how he's really better, when he's waiting to take over. But when you ask him to be the main person in the beginning, no. But when he's asked to come in and swoop in and get things done, that's Nick Foles. And, of course, Justin Fields. And many people thought Justin Fields was the steal of the draft because a lot of the pundits felt that he should have been first quarterback taken after Trevor Lawrence. But he wasn't. He dropped down considerably. But, hey, the Bears are the one that, they have him. And, maybe he won't start, but the thing is, he'll finish. And Justin Fields is a winner. And that's what the Bears need. They need to solidify that quarterback position so they can go to the conference finals because of the fact that it's been holding them back. They have everything. They got a full team. The defense is just, oh my God, the defense is one of the better defenses in the league, but it's their offense that's always held the Bears back. But this time, with these three quarterbacks, and I think it's going to take a village, and it's going to take these three quarterbacks to get the work done, but I believe they're definitely going to be the bigger surprise because the Dolphins, we expect the Dolphins to be better this year. We really do. And, but we don't know what the Bears are going to be, so that's why they're the bigger surprise. All right, Spitface, take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have another. Oh no, we'll see. We have another performance from Akbar on Shout Out Part 2. Please stay tuned.
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks, and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right. We have another performance from Akbar. DJ, let's hear Pink Cadillac. Roll it.
we do. Players from the hood. This is how we do. Players from the hood.
Well, that was Pink Cadillac by Akbar. Aretha Franklin does not have to worry about her song being upstaged by any stretch of the imagination. But First Lady, I think I'm going to have to hit the mute button on this. And yeah, First Lady, I think I'm going to have to hit the mute button on this. I'm not quite sure where he was coming from, but unless this is, I can't even say is music to sleep by, because one, it's the part that is this music, or what was he trying to do with the muffled vocals and lyrics that, kind of, is Pink Cadillac like some new drug I ain't hip to? Because I'm wondering about it, but I'm hitting the mute button. First Lady, what's the verdict?
You're talking about Aretha Franklin doesn't have to worry. Look, Aretha Franklin is rolling in her grave right now because of that song.
I think Mary Kay might be upset.
Oh my gosh.
The Pink Cadillac with Mary Kay, they might be up. What the hell?
Oh, no, I'm definitely hitting the mute button on that. That, to be honest with you, that one was even worse than the first one, Spitface. That was no resemblance to Pink Cadillac. I don't even know why he thought that even sounded like Pink Cadillac instrumental.
I have no clue why he used that title.
It sounded nothing like Pink Cadillac. So anyway, definitely hitting the mute button. Definitely hitting the mute button.
Well, that is the end of shout out. If you liked what you heard from Akbar, you might like him. Check him out at Old Grumpy Radio. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to content@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, back to you.
It's time for the hardware picks. Who will wear the hardwood crown? All right, let's go over last week's results. Well, Spitface, you were actually in the lead with last week's results because you had 0 points. Well, Dizzy Mac, we didn't get his answer, so he had 0 points also. But Spitface, I had minus 3 million points, and unfortunately, that really put me further behind you because currently our grand total as of this week is you're leading with 7.15 million. I have 2.95 million, and Dizzy Mac has 1.5 million points. All right, so let's get to the current picks. This is the optional bonus bet. Chris Paul will have a triple-double. Ooh, Jesus. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to bet $5 million.
I'm going $5 million, and I'm saying no.
Okay. You're going $5 million, you're saying no.
I don't think he'll have double in points, double in assists, but I don't see him getting double in rebounds.
Yeah.
Or
especially
steal.
not with Aiden there.
Or
especially
steal. That ain't happening.
Yeah, okay. Suns will defeat Clippers 4-3. Spitface is first the correct answer, 2 million, minus 2 million for the incorrect answer. Spitface?
No. The Clippers will not win 3 games.
Exactly. I'm also saying no. They're not going to win 3 games. Their best chance for a 4-3 series if they had won the last game 4, but no, it's not going to happen. Bucks will defeat Hawks 4-2. $2 million for the correct answer, minus $2 million for the incorrect answer. I'm going to say no because I think it's going in 5. Spitface.
You don't think that the Hawks can win one more?
No, I don't think they're going to win one more. No, unless if obviously if the Bucks backslide to the way they play in Game 1, yeah. But if they continue to play the way they did in Game 2, no.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say the Hawks will win one more game, but they're going down.
Okay. All right, we'll see how our results turn out. Okay, Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
Deshaun Watson. The word is he will be suspended for the entire 21-22 season, and that announcement will come this week.
What? Oh, wow. Am I
That's
surprised?
the word on the street.
Am I surprised? No. Okay. All right. My top story really is there's a worldly top story. The Euro Cup soccer. They're at their knockdown round, and people are watching around the world. We're talking about 4 billion people are watching the soccer Euro Cups. I even watch one game myself. I hope France wins. I like France. So that's my favorite team in Euro Cup. All right. Okay, I want to definitely give a shout-out to all of the NBA female coaches that have actually been interviewing for the what? There were so many the vacancies in the NBA. You had Becky Hammond. You had Witherspoon. I just forgot her name because it eluded me right now. She what's her first name? Spitface Witherspoon. Oh, that's a shame.
I don't know.
You don't know. I apologize. But anyway, she's the assistant coach with the Pelicans, and she had actually been, she's in contention for the Pelicans job, and also Kara Lawson was in contention for the Celtics job. Teresa Witherspoon, how could I forget? Teresa Witherspoon used to play for the New York Liberty. Yes, Teresa Witherspoon, Becky Hammond, Kara Lawson, and supposedly Don Staley also was interviewing for the Portland Blazers job. So I feel, we have to shout out to these young ladies because they're making it well known now that women can interview for these jobs. They still have not been offered a full-time head coaching job, but I believe it's going to happen very soon. It's going to happen, Spitface. So I just want to shout them out. All right, shout out to the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center, our partners in empowering our women warriors fighting the business battle. Visit them at veteranwomen'sec.org. That's veteranwomen'sec.org. We are upgrading our website, braspantysports.com, to service you better. We apologize for the inconvenience. Our new improved site will be up and running July 1st. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.